become an actress?
What made me want to become an actress? When my brother was on television, I was 3 years old, and he was on a commercial, and my dad said, "Hey, Josie, do you want to do that?" And I was 3, and I said, "Okay." That was about it. So I just started acting at 3. Pretty much it. When did you start doing interviewing?
Today.
I know, you're doing awesome.
What did it feel like to start acting at a young age?
It was pretty weird. I didn't know if I was doing a job or if I was trying to get the job. I didn't quite understand. I was at a fitting for a job that I got, and the pants didn't fit for the job, and I thought that meant that I didn't get the job because I didn't know I already had the job. So I was really young and not quite sure what I was doing, which was kind of funny. So, and then it became fun later on when I was doing commercials, and I knew all I had to do was be really friendly and have a good time and have energy and be excited, and that was it.
What has been like being a part of such an influential TV such as Beverly Hills 90210, 2.5 Men, my favorite TV show, Charles and Change, and so on?
It was, first maybe I can start with Charles in Charge. Not that anyone knows what that is, but it was a sitcom in the late 80s, early 90s. And you'll kind of identify with this, and you will too, a little bit. I had this job that I got, and there was an audience of 250 people, and I was sitting there. I'd never done a show in front of an audience like that, and I was by myself on stage. I was 12, and I was really nervous. It was my first day, like you, and my heart's going like this, and I was really scared that day. I couldn't even eat breakfast and get out of bed because I was so nervous. And I'm standing on stage, and I start doing, the scenes, and the audience starts laughing, and I felt such love from the audience, and the energy was so great, and they were so happy and so nice. I relaxed, and everything was fine. So that was like my first, experience with that, and never being on a show before, only doing commercials before that. So that was a really fun thing to be a part of, and I thought that the writing was really good, and it was a really sweet show. You guys have to look it up sometime. It was a really sweet, funny show, and it was written so well by the writer Michael Jacobs. He wrote Boy Meets World, and now the show that's on now, Girl Meets World. He's a wonderful writer. And anyway, so that was fantastic. And then Beverly Hills 90210, the original, I was on the last season. I had really short hair, platinum blonde hair like this. And it was weird coming into a cast that was already, close. They were been there all those years, and to come in. But I already knew Brian Green. He goes by Brian Austin Green now. But I already knew him, and that made it a little bit more comfortable. And Tori Spelling was so nice to me, and we had fun, and it was really nice, actually. And then, let's see, you asked about Charles in Charge, 90210. What was that? Was that it?
2.5 Men.
Oh, that was your favorite. Okay, 2.5 Men. That show was, it was interesting because same thing, is that the cast was set, and I just came in to do a guest star on that show. And it was kind of a serious set. And you read about that? But you know what? The guys were so nice. Really, really nice.
Oh, nice.
Really cool, down to earth. Really, really nice. No attitude, nothing like that. And the producer, Chuck Lorre, is awesome, and he's such a wonderful writer. His stuff is so funny. So I just did what I normally do, and people loved it like crazy. USA Today said this episode is a must-see and stuff like that. So it was really, and Chuck Lorre, said he couldn't have cast anybody else in that role. So I just felt it's very special.
No,
I love it.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
What is the funniest behind-the-scenes story that happened to you?
funniest behind the scenes, I can't, you know, I've been asked that before. I can't think of anything, because if anybody did, I heard George Clooney does a lot of tricks and things behind, you know, plays tricks on people and stuff like that, but I never had anything like that. I guess there's just like something stupid I can tell you, but you guys don't even know who Scott Baio is. It's so funny. Okay, one person does. This story's for you. So I was holding an apple, biting into this apple, and Scott Baio says, "What is that smell? Do you smell something? Is it that apple?" And I said, "I don't smell anything." He goes, "See if it is." And when I went to smell it, he pushed it in my nose. I mean, that's about honestly, that's all I can think of for now that happened. That was funny. I can't think of anything else. That's it for now. It's kind of dumb.
That's funny too. I also noticed that you have done some work in soap opera. It's doing. Is doing a soap opera different from doing a TV show?
Yeah. It was. Gosh, I was. It was like the first thing I did after Charles in Charge. I was just a kid, and someone said, "I think you should do a soap." And yeah, it's really different because television, you rehearse, and like, for example, a sitcom, you rehearse. You get the script on Friday is what we did. We would usually go home. We didn't even rehearse, but some casts will rehearse, some shows will rehearse. Then we had the weekend. We would rehearse Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then shoot on Thursday. And for soap operas, it's so fast. You have to be ready, completely ready. You come in and you rehearse it pretty much once, maybe twice, and you just shoot it once, maybe twice. That's it. And you just have to be ready. And then they burn through like 5 scenes. So you're shooting, I could shoot my stuff in like 30 minutes, all my scenes. It's crazy how fast it is. And I like to do things slowly, so soaps were just not for me. I really prefer film and 1-hour shows.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what has been your best role?
Sunny, spelled S-O-N-N-Y, with James Franco, was directed by Nick Cage. That role was really cool. I got to do a Southern accent, and it was pretty awesome. Nick Cage was pretty. I always watch his movies and never worked with him, and I thought that was pretty cool. What a nice guy! Such a nice guy. And I met him when I auditioned in his big Bel Air home at the time on New Year's Day. So New Year's Eve, I didn't get to really go out and have fun. I had to go to bed early and be ready for New Year's Day. He was the nicest guy, really cool guy.
Wow.
So that was just a really fun experience in that movie. So it was my favorite role regarding the work and the people, but also because I didn't have just one. And there was a movie I did for Lifetime called The Perfect Assistant. It was my first starring role in a Lifetime movie, where I'm in like every scene, and it was my favorite, like acting wise, because I got to play a really crazy person and kill like 3 people, but I look like just your average person, which I really love, looking like an average person, but really I'm crazy. It's really fun. So that was really fun.
With all the television revivals happening, would you ever consider revising your role if someone attempted a Charles in Charge revival?
Like a reunion or something? I would do that if it was the same writer or someone as good. Michael Jacobs was such a brilliant writer. I would do that if he wrote it, or someone as great as he wrote it. Not that I'm looking forward to doing that, but if that happened. Is there
a specific role that you learn from the most, both professionally?
That I learned from both doing the job and professionally. I think, yeah, actually, I was just talking about The Perfect Assistant and how, I've done other ones also. where I play a crazy person. When you play a really mean, crazy person, people really think you're like that. So in the business, I noticed like certain cast people in the cast or the crew, whatever, from far away, if they don't talk to you long enough, they'll actually think you are that crazy. Like one of the, in between the scenes, I was still acting, you know, kind of crazy on my own, doing all this weird behavior, and I looked and noticed that my fellow castmate was peeking at me like this. He was like watching me, and I said, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" He says, "I'm watching you. You're crazy." And I said, This is the character. I'm keeping it going. This is not how I am normally, you know." But he really thought that I was. And I did have a guy I dated think after seeing one of the movies where I kill people that I must be crazy. So I no longer show my crazy roles to guys I'm dating before they know me.
Oh, that's awesome. In your overall career in the internet industry, what has been the biggest challenge and the biggest reward?
You know, I'm thinking that the biggest challenge was obviously acting for the first time was such a huge challenge. I mean, getting out of bed that morning and eating my breakfast, getting there, standing on stage in front of all those people, that was the biggest challenge, and yet it was the biggest reward. I was on that show for 4.5 years, and I'll always have that with me. I'll always have that experience of taping 104 episodes 2 times. We did 2 tapings on Thursdays, and so I've done like 208, you know, tapings of Charles in Charge, and in front of a live audience, and then 2.5 Men was as well, and then some other shows I've done. That was really something you can never take away from somebody. You know, I have that experience. It's in me. It's like ingrained in me since I was 12. So comedy is just there. So I think that was the biggest challenge and the biggest reward.
And the last question I have is...
Yes? What is it?
Do you have any advice for anyone that wants to work in TV?
Did you mean just TV in general, or do you mean like in the business? Just TV? Just TV in general? Any advice? Because can I actually say both? Can
Sure.
I say like in the business
Yeah,
too? Because
go ahead. Yeah.
if you want to be, you know, in this business, it's a really difficult business, and there are a lot of rewards as well. So you have to absolutely love it to death, and just like in your heart, you have to know that that's what you're meant to do, because it's a really difficult business. But regarding television, there's a ghost at the door. Television, to prepare for television, what would I advise? The difference between, well, I mean, you hear my story about doing it in front of an audience. I mean, that's can be scary, you know, to really, at first, your first time. But look at, like, you're totally relaxed right now because now we're just talking. But that's how it is, you know, when you first start, you get really nervous, and then once you feel the audience's love, and like you guys are all here for learning and entertainment and everything, it's the same kind of thing, so it's so relaxing. But it's scary at first. So I would say that's sitcom, but television in general is just quicker. It's changed over the years. It's not as quick as it was, but they always used to tell me, quicker, quicker, quicker. Whereas when you do a movie or a 1-hour show, well, that's television again. If you do a movie, it's slower paced, which I really prefer because I'm slower. But,
I agree.
you know, they like you to do it fast. And they're always in auditions. They used to go, quicker, 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 quicker. And it's like drives me crazy. I don't like to move fast like that. So
I'm with you on that.
that's pretty much my advice, I guess, experience. Do you have any other questions?
No, that's it. Why don't we have applause for Josie Davis? And do you